Dear friends, welcome to ComArt. Today we are going to discuss the topic formulation of research problem. Next, we can see the meaning of research problem. A research problem refers to some difficulty which a researcher experiences in the context of either a theoretical or a practical situation and wants to obtain a solution for the same. Usually, a research problem is said to exist if the following conditions are met with. First condition is there must be an individual or an organization to whom the problem can be attributed. The individual or the organization occupies an environment which is defined by values of the uncontrolled variables. Second condition is there must be at least two causes of action. Here, causes of action is defined by one or more values of the controlled variables. Third condition is there must be at least two possible outcomes, of which one should be preferable to the other. Fourth and last condition is the causes of action available must provide some chances of obtaining the objective, but they cannot provide the same chance. Next, components of a research problem. First component is an individual or a group having difficulty. That means there must be an individual or a group which has some difficulty or the problem. Second one is objectives. There must be some objectives to be attained at. If one wants nothing, one cannot have a problem. Then the third one is alternatives. There must be alternative means or the courses of action for obtaining the objectives one wish to attain. Fourth one is an answer to the question. The research must answer the question concerning the relative efficiency of the positive alternatives. And the last component is the environment. There must be some environment to which the difficulty pertains. Next, we can discuss the points to be noted by a researcher while selecting a research problem. The first point is that the subject which is overdone should not be normally chosen, for it will be a difficult task to throw any new light in such a case. The second point is controversial subject should not become the choice of an average researcher. Third point to be considered is that too narrow or too vague problem should be avoided. The fourth point to be considered is the subject selected for research should be familiar and feasible so that the research material or sources of research are within one's reach. Next, the importance of subject, the qualifications and training of a researcher, the cost involved, the time factor are few other criteria that must also be considered in selecting a problem. Finally, the selection of a problem must be preceded by a preliminary study. Next, the necessity of defining problem. Quite often, we all hear that a problem clearly stated is a problem half solved. A proper definition of research problem will enable the researcher to be on the track, whereas an ill-defined problem may create hurdles. Thus, defining a research problem properly is a prerequisite for any study and is a step of the highest importance. In fact, formulation of a problem is often more essential than its solution. It is only on careful detailing the research problem that we can work out the research design and can smoothly carry on all the consequential steps involved while doing research. Next, we can discuss the techniques involved in defining a research problem. The technique for the purpose involves the undertaking of the following steps, generally one after the other. So the first step is statement of problem in a general way. The second step is understanding the nature of the problem. Third step to be considered is surveying the available literature. Fourth step is developing the ideas through discussions. And finally, rephrasing the research problem. In addition to what has been stated above, the following points must also be observed while defining a research problem. First of all, technical terms and words or phrases with special meanings used in the statement of the problem should be clearly defined. Next one, the basic assumptions or postulates, if any, relating to the research problem should be clearly stated. Third one, a straightforward statement of the value of the investigation, that is, the criteria for the selection of the problem should be provided. The next one is the suitability of the time period and the sources of the data available must also be considered by the researcher in defining the problem. Finally, the scope of the investigation or the limits within which the problem is to be studied must be mentioned explicitly in defining a research problem. Thank you.